Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be looking at the word would. Did you know that we use the word would in at least 8 different ways in English? We can use it as a polite request, we can use it as a conditional, we can refer to the past. In this video, we're going to be looking at the 8 different ways that we use would in English. I'm going to make it clear and try to explain each one to you so that at the end of this video, you have no doubt as to which would someone is using. My name is Andrea and I help fix your English. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, please subscribe, like my video, and sit back because we are going to be looking at 8 different ways that we use would in English. The first is that would is used to be polite when we make requests, offers, invitations. That's what it's used for. Let's look at requests first of all. Would you help me with this report? This is more polite than can you help me? Would you mind sending me the document? Would it be possible to reschedule the meeting? All of these are polite requests. Let's look at polite offers now. Would you like some coffee? This is a polite way to offer something. Would you like? Would you like me to help you with that? Now let's look at polite invitations. Would you like to join us for lunch? Would you be interested in attending our event? So why do we use would instead of can or will? Would, just by using the would instead of can or will, instantly makes your sentence more polite. Can you help me? It's very direct. But if you say, would you be able to help me? It's very polite and kind. The second way we use would is for conditions, which mean hypothetical situations. Would is used in the second and the third conditional. It is used to talk about hypothetical or imaginary situations. Let's look at the second conditional first of all. The second conditional talks about imaginary presents or imaginary futures. Let's look at them now. If I had more time, I would learn French. But I don't have more time to learn French. It's imaginary. If I were the boss, I would give everyone a pay rise. But I'm not the boss, so all of this is imaginary. The third conditional is the imaginary past. If you had studied harder, you would have passed the exam. But you didn't study the exam, so you failed. If I had known about the meeting, I would have attended. But I didn't know, and so I didn't attend. The common mistake with this is using would twice. We just use it once. Let's look at this error first of all. If I would have studied, I would have passed. It should be, if I had studied, I would have passed. Okay, number 3, we're doing well. Would is used for past habits or past actions that were repeated. That means that you used to keep doing them, but they're things that you don't do anymore. Let's look at the examples. When I was a child, I would spend hours playing outside. I'm not a child anymore. I don't do that. Every summer, we would go to my grandmother's house. We don't do that anymore, but every summer we did. He would always forget his keys. Okay, this is probably something that he doesn't do anymore. Maybe because we took his keys away from him. Now let's quickly look at the difference between would and used to. Would is only used for actions. He would play football. We wouldn't use would for states. So I wouldn't say he would be shy. It would be he used to be shy. Used to can be used for both. I used to go to my grandmother's house every summer. I would go to my grandmother's house every summer. If in doubt, you can use used to. Number 4, would is used for reported speech. When reporting something that someone said in the past, will tends to would. I have a whole video about this, but let's quickly summarize it now. So when someone actually says something, it's called direct speech. So someone might say, I will call you tomorrow. But if we are reporting that, it's called reported speech. and we would change that to she said she would call me tomorrow. We can't say she said she will call me tomorrow because that doesn't make sense. Let's look at some more examples quickly now. I will help you. He said he would help me. We will be late. They said they would be late. I will finish it soon. She said she would finish it soon. Why does will turn into would? Well, this is something again that I talk about in my video, but it's called back shifting. Back shifting is basically moving the tense one step backwards in time. The fifth way we use would is for hypothetical preferences. Would rather or would prefer. Have you ever heard that before? Would you rather have something? Let's look at how we use would for preferences or hypothetical choices. We use would rather and then the base verb. So, I would rather stay at home than go to the party. He would rather travel by train than by car. Would you rather have coffee or tea? We can also use would prefer and then to and then the infinitive. I would prefer to have tea instead of coffee. She would prefer to work from home. So what's the difference between would rather and would prefer? Not very much, just the tenses. Would rather is followed by the bare infinitive. I would rather go, not I would rather to go. And would prefer is followed by to and the verb. So, I would prefer to go. That's the only difference. They both show hypothetical preferences or choices. The sixth way we use would is for unreal or uncertain situations. These are things that are possible, but not likely. Let's look at these examples. I would love to visit Japan one day. It's not something that I'm planning on doing right now, but it's something that's possible for me to do. It would be great to meet up sometime. I'm happy to meet up with you, but we don't have plans. I would go to the party, but I have an exam tomorrow. It's probable that I'm not going to be able to go to the party. So we use would in these situations. We don't say it will be great to meet up with you sometime because that would be too certain and it's not a certainty. We would say it would be great to meet up with you sometime. This is more polite and less certain. Seventh is using would for conditional offers or recommendations. Let's look at some examples. I would recommend trying the new restaurant. I would say that that's a great idea. I would advise you to be careful. And the last one is something that is not as common. Would is sometimes used after as if or as though to describe unreal or imaginary situations. Let me just give you some examples. He acts as if he would be the boss, but he's not and he can't be. It sounds as if it would be difficult. She talks as though she would know everything. If you say he acts as if he is the boss, it means that it might be true. And when we use the would, it means that it's completely unreal or imaginary. So now you know 8 different ways that we use would in English. Let's do a quick recap right now. We use would for politeness, requests, offers, and invitations. Conditionals, imaginary situations. Past habits, repeated actions. Reported speech. Hypothetical preferences, would rather, would prefer. unreal or uncertain situations. Giving advice or recommendations. Comparisons, as if or as though. Your challenge for today is to write a sentence using would below. If this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe. And remember that if you're looking for one-to-one lessons with me to improve your English, please contact me and I'll give you all the information that you need. Bye!